No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like.
Come gather round the footlights, lads, and hear the old boards groan. A tale of ink and iron will, of voices overblown. From mics and scripts to painted sails, we've traded shore for sea. The players will man the rigging soon. Aye, your hands, follow me. From Long John shadowed silver grin to Jim with compass true. We speak the words, we wear the scars, we make the old world new. No gold without the work behind, no legend without sweat. A stage, a ship, a single breath. The course is not set yet. We players sail, we players sail, we players sail soon. All hands to KLRN Radio, setting sail for Treasure Island, March 2026.
Programming note, it's actually spring 2026. This is spring, I heard March.
Hi everyone, this is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
We've got answers, we've got time, we've got theories that sound just fine. We've read the room, we've skimmed the page, been wrong before, but never afraid. We'll tell you why, we'll tell you when, we'll tell you how. Again and again, we've got the tone, we've got the flair. We didn't ask, but we're still there. Men explain. Poorly you move.
And welcome into this week's episode of Men Explained Poorly, as I wait for the system to catch up with us here. All right, and so far we are joined by most of our panelists. We have to the right of me on screen, Vincent Charles. How are you doing this evening, sir? How are things?
I am absolutely fabulous, my friend.
I guess depending on orientation, because you got portrait versions of X and Facebook. He's below me. So I said below me, not below me. And then up next,
Important distinction.
and then up next, depending on where you're looking at in order of appearance, is Ordnance J. Packard, and he's right here. And good evening, sir. How are you?
Well, I just finished fighting with sharing it with my feed, so I am doing moderately neato. How are you? What's going on with Rick?
You always
Stupid Rick.
always getting in the middle of X fights. Always getting in the middle of X fights.
Yeah, I you know what? I really have to close this down. Mill Twitter just came into this thread hardcore, and I am just I can't watch this. Anyway, I'll save it for later. It'll be my cookie with my milk later.
Nice.
Okay, now I gotta find this shit.
I got caught up with a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which is part of the reason why I stopped doing shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or at least during the day, so I could free up time for all the administrative crap that's been falling by the wayside. So I got all that done today, and now we're doing this, and I'm chilling out with you guys, and
that's why I won't do 2 shows a night.
Yeah, well, Well, to be fair, that second show gets a little blue, so yeah.
Gotta be 21.
Anyway. And then, as has been the usual lately, we do have Delaney hanging out with us. And how are you, sir? How are things?
I am wiggity, 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 whack.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or not.
That explains a great deal.
Suddenly, it all becomes clear.
And of course it does.
The clouds part to show the true sky.
Yes, indeedly do.
And fresh off of his production gig for the last show, we have our resident alien who's just joined. How are you doing tonight, sir?
You know, there is an ancient TV show from the 1970s that some people love to hate because Alan Alda sucks when he's directing.
Yeah.
But I am reminded tonight, watching Orty's and Foo's Twitter X feed, with that wonderful episode when Radar shows up to the officers club and they try to push the new rank of corporal lieutenant. So I'm doing fantastic.
You're seeing a little of that too?
Yes.
Yeah, I pulled it off of Foo and just pulled it straightly into my feed for maximum entertainment.
I 100% was thinking Hawkeye and Radar at the officers club. At one moment he's a sergeant and the next he's an officer.
Yeah,
nice.
Sergeant first class.
I forgot
officer.
People.
Yeah, I forgot about that
mistake.
Grape knee high.
Look, I know Orty and Brad and even Vincent, they do a show about entertainment, but who is the one that drops the news about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan movie?
That was you. I'll give you the props.
Yes, you upset me with a few of those upcoming projects.
I hope they redeem Conan the Destroyer, though.
Oh.
Well, the problem is they're not doing the correct version of Conan the King or King Conan, but I'm hoping they take moments of it, because if you've never read the book when Conan becomes king, it's absolutely amazing. I think the best book of the Conan series.
I'll have to go back. I was toggling a lot between Conan and Melborian myths at the time. And, with Elric and Stormbringer. And so I have cross-pollinated a lot of that in my head.
Yeah. As was the time, because the 80s were awesome for that genre.
As was the style at the time.
So how about Rick? How's Rick doing? Did anyone ask before I joined?
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at all these Chinese semen memes in this thread.
Okay, everybody get out of my feed. I stole that from you and used it liberally today.
Share and enjoy, brother. All my memes. Share and enjoy.
I just figured while you guys were talking about Twitter, I'd be promoting the show before we actually get into the topic. So,
Okay.
all right. So,
The topic.
tonight
He
we're-
just told retired Green Beret, "You're scared, pussy." Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, aren't you the one telling everybody else to get out of your feed?
Okay. I'm closing it. Done. Okay. Show.
Bad,
I don't know.
Orty. Bad.
Maybe we should have just made tonight about Orty's X feed. Probably would have been more entertaining.
Just put my feed up in there. We'll all just laugh at it like it was a presidential debate or something.
Oh, all right. So, the topic for tonight kind of happened by accident because I happened to check into the room while someone was complaining about things they didn't have to complain about before they turned 40. And I was like, hey, this could actually make a good topic. So, So tonight we're talking about things that we wish people would have talked to us about, or in my case, we wish we would have listened better about before the check engine light and shit started coming on, meaning life after 40. So yeah.
Oh, I thought we were actually talking car things. Yeah, because that low air pressure light on the dashboard, fuck you. I run my tires low in the winter for traction.
Right?
Fair.
I got you. Brother, I got you on this one.
Okay. All right. So that's just me. Right on.
No, it's not just you, but I will say that I've been doing some research on that, and the max tire pressure stuff is actually designed for when your car is fully loaded. So unless you're running your car fully loaded with lower tire pressure, you're actually making things worse.
So Orty, let's jump into it. Winter's almost over. Hell, it was 70 in Vermont today. My normal tire pressure is 34. During the winter, I run typically 28, 29. So 4 or 5 PSI less. What do you usually run?
Yeah. Mine is set for 40. I usually run about 35. So, but the light comes on at 38. I discovered.
God, I hate that. Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah. And the thing that sucks about it is I took my car in for service and then they say, well, you've been running low air pressure. Then I explained it to them. They said, yeah, we'll just clear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because I do the same thing. Of course, I drive a tiny little car, so my tires at full pressure are rated for 40. So normally in the winter, I run at anywhere between 33 and 35. Lucky for me, the low tire pressure light doesn't come on until 25, though. So I don't have to deal with that much.
I'm envious.
Yeah. What about you, Delaney?
I don't have a car. At this point, I don't have a car. I work from home. My daughter's still online. One day, I want to get a beater truck, but for now, I am in getting stuff for my kid mode. So
got it.
Easier than me driving her to school every day anyway. So it's all good.
I do want to drop a hello to Y2 in the chat. Haven't seen his name in a while.
Yeah, what's up, Y2?
Andrew Conan starring Peter Dinklage. Hashtag everything is Dinklage.
You said Janelle? Is your other co-host? Oh my God, she was killing me. I had to go follow immediately because her laugh alone was just like, oh my God, this is just.
We have her on my show on Sundays. She's a fucking hoot. Seriously.
Yeah, I checked out some of her YouTube shorts and they were all good.
One of these days, we're going to record the 15 minutes before a Vincent Charles Project show and put it on Patreon.
Shit is just.
We'll start the green room at 15:15, 45 minutes before airtime, and then just record it. And then you can use that as a Patreon.
Now you're just gonna get me being sneaky because I can sneak in and record it and nobody knows.
So what was it? Yeah, also with Janelle too, like her gaming feeds, she's been going through Starfleet Academy. Rick, I saw you in there for a little bit today, and
yeah, it was in a
God,
couple
it's
times.
just
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm still really upset. She never
fucking Space Corin.
She never did it. The game's over. She kept saying she was gonna do it, and she never did it. The game's over. Y2, to answer your question, we're not trying to replace Manorama. Manorama just went away, so we're trying to keep the vibe going. So this show isn't necessarily a replacement for it. It's just because that show doesn't exist currently. So
It's a placeholder.
It is if Manorama died and we happened to cast a 6-level resurrection spell and it came back really weird.
hey, I resemble that.
If Manorama was the Ayatollah Khomeini, we are one of the later Ayatollahs. We're the one in a coma.
We're
Missing
iteration
one.
number 5.
Wow.
Wait a minute, guys. I'm being told iteration 5 is now no longer acceptable. We're now iteration 6.
Okay, so we're the cardboard one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I came
Yes,
I came up with one today talking about the Ayatollah. I said, yeah, since we canceled his membership to Club Oxygen.
we are the cardboard Ayatollah that reads Boda box on the outside.
Oh, you dirty fucker.
Dude, I was only half paying attention when that story broke, and it didn't hit until like a half an hour later that they were using a cardboard cutout for his swearing in. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's like Joey B in a turban and shit."
It's like when South Park was good, they would have done that.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was South Park for a minute.
Because I'm pretty sure they've done
Cardboard cutout with the Ayatollah's face on it. I'm like, holy shit, South Park. Oh, no, wait, that's real. Fuck.
When life imitates art, and you weren't expecting it to.
So what's the topic you
All
can...
right.
I was gonna say, what are we talking about again?
Even though we keep going sideways, one of the things most of what we're going to be talking about tonight is just things about, getting older that we wish we would have listened to other people when they tried to warn us about them. Like for me, a lot of my stuff is actually financially, because I remember being like a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid and my dad trying to tell me, take $20 a week no matter what and put it in a savings account. And by the time you're my age, and at that point he was only 30 something, you'll have about $120,000 in the bank. And then if you leave it alone, by the time you're ready to retire, you'll have a ton of money in there. And I keep kicking myself in the butt now because I never did any of those things.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the whole point of the show, because men get handed adulthood with absolutely no owner's manual. We usually figure things out by either breaking things, in my case, or learning the hard way, which for me is kind of a double thing, or occasionally potentially listening to older guys who already broke themselves. So yeah, that's all of us tonight, talking to you younger kids, saying do these things or don't do these things before it's too late.
The one thing that I really do feel bad about the generations behind us, at least, most of them, is that they were never taught how to balance a checkbook, as long as we're talking about money things. And that's where you get the culture that thinks we'll just finance some fucking pizza on DoorDash and everything will be fine.
Klarna?
Also,
Take 6 payments.
also
on your
5 minutes
pizza.
later, why can't I afford a house? Oh, probably because you're paying 18% on a meat lover's fee.
No, I can just see the pizza sitting on the counter and all rubbing their hands together. Yeah, 3 more payments and this baby's mine.
Right.
Oh.
To quote the
yeah.
bard,
Like a fire
compound
beetle.
interest, motherfucker. Do you pay it? Yes, you do.
So yeah, while we're talking about money, one of the biggest lessons that I could pass along to younger folks, and this is until you do things the right way, debt is a trap. Because when you're 18 years old and you start getting those credit card things in the mail and your parents are like, no, don't sign up for that. You do it. You've got your first one and it's got like a whopping $250 on it. And you're like, oh my God, I can do whatever I want. And then, yeah, you realize.
Listen here, Rick. I played the fuck out of those 12 CDs I got for a penny, okay?
Exactly.
So say we all, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. The Babylon 5 VHS set did not last as long as the CDs, but because, it was, 12 movies for a penny and nothing more to buy ever.
But that's actually part of what's killing the younger generations right now, and nobody talks about it. And I don't even know if anybody's really put a term together for it yet, but I call it lifestyle inflation because they're busy charging and spending everything they can to get whatever they want for the moment, and then mad when 6 months
I
they're going
think
back going.
I think I would call it fiscal ineptitude.
That's good too.
Yeah.
Impulse control.
Also, there's a level of predation on it when you're looking at like Capital One and shit. Oh, cool. Anybody can get a Capital One card at 28%.
Oh, cool. Samuel Jackson said I could get a Capital One card.
He says motherfucker a lot. He's just like me.
What's in your wallet, motherfucker?
Don't be retarded. Invest wisely. I feel like I need to interject myself here because I actually have some expertise in this field. Even though it was kind of osmosis work adjacent. My previous job, I was IT for a large financial company called Edward Jones. And it is so hilarious because I got to know the financial advisors, all 90 of them, quite well. First name basis, had half of their personal phone numbers. And if you guys know me, you know I'm an inquisitive individual and ask questions. And I would always ask the guys and gals, what is your biggest hurdle as a financial advisor to get people going? And almost at 100%, it was getting schools to allow us to teach financials. And when I can't even accurately describe the look on their faces of, my God, please just give me 2 hours with everyone. Every class, every school, every grade. I can teach them some of enough basics that by the time they're 40, they're going to be okay. And the schools were like, no, we can't allow it.
We can't let that happen, man. That just can't be a thing.
Yeah, and I was shocked by that. I mean, I'm grateful that my son got the benefit of my job and learning from some of these guys. So he's going to be way better than I ever was in this situation. But just seeing the I mean, I have a really good friend who is an Edward Jones financial advisor who also happens to play hockey, and we spent hours talking about it. And it is his one biggest thing of his 15 years so far as a financial advisor is he just wants an opportunity to teach kids and youngins how to be financially responsible. And one of the comments he brought up to me that has stuck with me for 10 years now is, you want to fix kids and boys' mental health? Teach them financials. Because by the time they're 40, they're most likely going to have a kid, maybe two, have a wife, maybe an ex-wife. And the thing that's going to kill them quickest is stressing about financials, where if I could walk into the door when they're 16, I could fix everything for them and alert them to the traps and pitfalls of it all.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, we could get into why schools don't want that kind of stuff taught, but I think we all know the answers.
Yeah. Feed the credit beast.
Yeah, well, the same reason they don't teach critical thinking or anything anymore. They want people with just enough of an illusion of freedom to be able to pick out a job that they think they want, or to start with a job that they think they're going to hate and then try to work their way up, and just enough intelligence to, operate machinery, not really enough to be self-sufficient, because then you don't need the government anymore. But that's another reason why they stopped teaching financial literacy a long time ago. I mean, hell, Amish and I talked about this on Rick and Morty like over 2 years ago when Dick Van Dyke showed up on Peacock, and I was bored one day and turned it on, and I'm watching a show in the 50s where literally everybody on the fucking show had an accountant. And I'm like, was that like normal back then?
Well, we're all of an advanced age on this show. Some of us are younger than others. Looking at you, Rick. Um, how many of us had home ec in middle or high school
Yeah.
where we learned to sew? And so many people looked at that and go, "Oh, men needing to sew." Well, yeah, you know what? My motorcycle might need a new seat, and it would be great if I knew how to sew that. My goalie pads and my hockey jerseys may need a little tightening up, so let's learn this. It's all these life skills that a lot of us were taught, but even back in that time, we weren't told and taught economics. And it's really fascinating to me because I, I'm a firm believer. I don't give a rat's ass about men's health after 40 because I promise you, majority of it is financial stress. Oh my God, how am I going to pay this bill? Oh my God, I just got a tax bill for my new Jeep. That's $2,000. I was told it was going to be 1,200. I'm fucked for 3 weeks. How am I going to feed my son? I know this sounds a little too specific, but it's true. It's all these little details that men stress upon, and that is the biggest downgrade to their health, their life, and their life expectancy. I think more than anything else.
Well, it's like you're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about home economics. When I was in high school, I think it was junior high or high school. I took it because that's where the girls were. Yeah, basic. Not only did they teach us how to balance a checkbook, sewing, a little bit of cooking, and it was also the pre. If you took home economics, they did enough class time driver's ed that you could go into driver's ed without taking driver's ed. So that was a little plus with ours
Yep.
too, because it was the same teacher. So yeah, no, it was a great class. I mean, and like I said, that's where all the chicks went. So, and I did shop too. So, and ROP Foods.
Yeah,
So I
and
got all
I'm
my life. I got all my life back when you could get your life skills in high school.
and I'm gonna hijack. Sorry, Rick, but I don't know what you have prepared. I'm gonna hijack this a little bit, but I'm gonna. How many on this panel are fathers? 4?
How many on this panel are grandfathers?
Yeah. You know, if I
That's
were
what
to
I'm all
ask
about.
you, what is the most dangerous thing in your life? Is it stress about financials? Is it your eating habits, your drinking habits, or any, your marital issues? Which are you going to put as number one?
I mean,
Fine.
two feeding
Yeah,
together.
finance,
I don't
definitely.
have marital issues anymore, so I don't have to worry about those. But yeah, definitely more financial side stuff.
Finances and treating my body like an action figure.
Now, with opposable thumbs.
Yeah. Kung Fu grip.
Boy, do I.
Only on the one arm though. Oh wait.
Delaney,
He's
you're being
pulling a
awful.
stranger. He's using his left.
Delaney is being awfully quiet.
It's a
Cheers.
Texas thing. Ah, there he is. How are you?
Living the dream. Living the dream. Although, when it does come to health, nothing matters. I mean, once that goes, you're fucked. Doesn't matter if you have money, you don't have money. If you don't have health, you're fucked. So I would.
Well, yeah, that's why that actually is one of the topics I was about to get into. But since everybody seemed to want to dive in on the financial side, that to me is almost as important because anymore it takes financial stability to be able to control your health well enough, especially if you make dumb decisions when you're younger. Because I've spent a
Well,
lot of time in doctors throughout my life.
to make an analogy back to finance, is how much do you have in the bank? If you're letting it slide hard in your 40s, you better stop and you better get on it because it is harder and harder to maintain, let alone gain. I mean, the average guy loses, I can't remember what percentage of muscle mass it is after the age of 50 anyway. It's terrifying. but you will get injured at some point. Chances are you will get sick, and then you're going to get laid up. And how good of condition you are before that happens is going to determine largely how fast you get back on it, if you recover. But it it frightens me how because we had started kids when we were in our mid 40s, and I would look around at some of the dads that with the kids in the age bracket that my kids were in their late 20s, early 30s, and some were um, maybe at a minimum, almost everybody was at least 10 years younger than me. And they did nothing physically. And I'm like, God, guys, you need it. I mean, I don't know, I need it for mental health and stress relief, but um, that's a dangerous game to just let that slide completely because
Yeah, you can't.
it's I've seen it so many times. It's like,
And
well,
it
I'll
gets
get to that later. It's like, no, you're not.
no,
No, you're not.
you can't put it off and you can't delay it because, like you said, there's loss of muscle mass, and also, because of age, your joints don't work nearly as well as they used to. I mean, 25, you can go into the gym, you can bench press 350 pounds. You can't do that at 60. Believe me, I've tried. You can't perform like you used to perform. And
Mm-mm.
it's not your fault. It's just age and wear and tear. So instead of going to the gym, I mean, I work out at home. I do calisthenics. I do yoga. You know, I don't feel any shame in telling anybody that I do yoga.
No, I do yoga too. So yeah,
We
But
all
it's
do
part of my.
the
Bunch of
only the
tofu
only
eating
strenuous
assholes.
the only strenuous exercise that I do, I keep a heavy bag down in the basement, and
Yeah.
every other day I go downstairs and I beat the dog shit out of it for 20 minutes.
Well,
And
it's
like
it's
Delaney says, it's a workout plus it's stress relief.
yeah,
So
it's funny you say that because I have God, I don't even know the actual name for it. I'm just gonna call it a skate mat. It's about 8 feet wide, and you put on these slippery socks, and you hold your hockey stick, and you just skate back and forth. And typically, what will happen is I'll put a hockey game on. I don't care if it's live or recorded, and I will skate along until the whistle blows. Once the
yeah,
whistle
it's one
blows,
of
I
those
stop.
really slippery mats. I've seen speed skaters
Yeah.
train with those.
Oh my god, those are awesome, by the way. I'm just saying, they're really cool. Um, even though I'm a goalie and I didn't skate like that. But it is one of those things where it it is funny because I look at what I did prior to 40, for those that don't know Manorama or my history, I was a semi-professional hockey player, in particular, a goalie for 20 years. And what is fascinating, the pearl of wisdom that I learned, I had a certain calorie intake in my younger days and playing days. And the hardest part of retiring from sports and that kind of activity is changing your diet
Yes.
because I can't eat, 2,700 calories, and have a chicken parm every other night. That I have to adjust my caloric intake down to about 1,700. And I learned that lesson 10 years too late. And it's fascinating that like what you're saying, your activity level, especially after 40, takes that dive that you'll get. And Delaney mentioned it, pains you've never thought of, but just because you slept wrong, it you know you experience new things, and you have to realize that your body is telling you things, and adjust accordingly. And it's frustrating.
I had a really serious injury and plate screws, and I was hoping that after that, the doctor said, "Oh yeah, you'll be able to do X, Y, and Z." And I tried to do it again, and it just complete fail. I couldn't do it. And after a while, I got pretty depressed, and I just took my toys and I went home and I started gaining weight, and just was not pretty. And speaking of yoga, what wound up getting me, I don't know if any of you guys remember Diamond Dallas Page from the old.
Yeah, DDP yoga.
Yes.
Yep, that was what got me back. I watched this video, or this YouTube video of this guy. He was huge, walking with quad canes, and takes him through his progression. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, if he can do this, I can certainly. I'm not that broken. I can do this. So that's how it started. So I went from heavy squats and lifting all the time to DDP yoga, and I did only that for years, and I was falling over and trying to doing all the things, and I just gradually progressed that into just doing more calisthenics, actually, but still doing some of it. But you have to have that. You cannot stop. Inertia is a fucking bitch, and it's so hard to get moving once you stop. So just whatever it is, just keep making forward, or just keep moving. It sure beats, if you don't, you are going to deteriorate.
You don't have to
quickly.
make a great deal of progress, but you have to make some progress.
Yeah.
Even if it's
And
only
really, it's
getting off the couch and walking around the block 3 or 4 times.
just
Just
maintaining it, doing
exactly.
fucking something.
Getting the blood flowing and keeping your heart rate up. It's a baseline. I'm not going to say it's enough because it's nowhere near enough, but it's a baseline, and you can
really
move on from there.
just having a couple kettlebells, just like you're sitting there watching a stupid YouTube video, work with your kettlebells, or just dumbbells, whatever.
And like Jeff was talking about caloric intake, because back in the 90s I was a semi-professional cyclist, and I used to do criterion races, which are basically it's a square or rectangular course set up in a city that takes up about maybe 8 or 9 blocks, and it's just high speed.
So you were a cyclist, Vincent.
Yes.
Male or female racers?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. But and the caloric intake for cyclists is fucking insane.
Oh God, yes. And understanding
I would
anaerobic.
literally see guys just riding on their bikes. They're sitting up in the saddle, hands off the handlebar. They're actually eating an entire tube of fucking cookie dough
Yes.
for the sugar.
And
These
there
guys
is
are
a
doing
difference.
15,000 calories a day.
And Vincent, you understand this a lot. There's a difference between anaerobic and aerobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go anaerobic,
Oh God, it is. And hockey is 80% anaerobic, especially as a goaltender. Like, you have to calorie dump the fuck out of that pregame, because you're 60 plus minutes on the ice. You're making, you don't know how much quick reflex action you're going to make. So you start preparing. For me, it was 3 hours before a game. I would usually have chicken parm, because let's talk serious here. Chicken parm is a caloric dump that is perfect for this. And then half an hour, I would have either a beer or a shot of vodka. And not only with the caloric intake, it would also, with the alcoholic level, numb the muscles enough to let me stretch and do my splits and do things of a nature that my brain was telling me not to do, but I needed to do to perform the duty I was about to do.
Yeah, ubiquitous is saying that 15K a day is tweaking your thyroid. In a normal person, yeah. When you're giving an all-out physical effort, in Jeff's case, in a hockey game, that's what, an hour on the ice with a couple of breaks.
Counting warm-ups, you're looking at an hour and 40 minutes.
And for cycling, you're talking about for a criterion race, you're talking about 4.5, 5 hours in the saddle of continuous effort.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about, riding at speeds like you see people riding on a thing. I'm talking about maintaining an effort of at least 32 to 35 miles an hour constantly.
Yes. And
You
for me,
you will burn every one of those fucking calories that you intake,
yeah,
and you'll still be thin as a rail.
and
You turn into a massive muscle. That's it.
my playing weight, my ideal playing weight was I'm 6'1". My ideal weight was 185 pounds, and I was eating over on game days. I was eating over 5,000 calories. Now,
Yeah, I used to back in my 20s and 30s when I'd go out and every year spend 2 weeks on the JMT or the PCT, John Muir Trail, Pacific Crest Trail. Yeah, I mean, you're up 10, 12,000, sometimes 14, 13,000 feet. And, with 100-pound, 7,500 pounds on your back.
I don't
Yeah,
even
that was, I
remember
mean,
that.
as soon as I came, as soon as I came out of the trail, first thing I do is go grab 2 quarter pounders, a 20 McNuggets, fucking medium Dominoes, and a pitcher of beer, and just fucking
I would grab a Sheets turkey sub with nachos and a 6-pack of beer after every hockey tournament.
And a small Diet Coke with no ice.
Vincent, what's the what was an MRE? How many calories in MRE?
12 to 1,500, I believe, depending
Yeah,
on the
some
MRE.
of them tip 2,000. The ones with the
because I was,
pasta
I mean,
ones.
I could back in those days, we were slamming 4 of those a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was out on the trail, I'd be eating 2 of those a day. That's why I mean, chili mac I think was at the upper end of the calorie too, because that's the only thing that could really maintain.
all of the ones with the pasta, the chili mac, the cheese tortellini. There was
Yes.
another one, I forgot the name. Oh shit, it'll come to me. I can't remember.
MREs were great for travel hockey. I cannot undersell that, but it is. And what I'm hearing tonight is between Delaney and Ordy and Vincent, and Rick seems to be absent from this conversation. The hardest part is we were, for X amount of years, this is how we ate. We would have 2,000 calories on our normal night, but 5,000, 10,000 on performance days. And the hardest part with turning 40 and after, your
and then
brain,
flipping that switch where you're trying to keep it under 2K.
Yes, because you look at that plate of I'm just going to throw a restaurant name out here. They're not sponsoring us, although hey, call me. Like Applebee's, you'd go to their chicken parm. It's 1,200 calories for a single meal, and you look at it after all those years of competing, doing this, doing that, doing military marches, whatever. You're looking at that plate going, that's not enough. Do you have any more bread? And by the time you're done that and maybe a drink, say, I don't know, let's just pick one at random, a Long Island iced tea, you're looking at 2,400 calories, and you don't think about it because all those years prior to before turning 40, you're like, oh, I can handle this. And then all of a sudden your ideal playing weight of 6'1", 185 pounds becomes 6'1" and 225, then 230, then 235.
Exactly. But one thing that I've noticed when I get older, as I've gotten older, is that, since I don't compete anymore, or since, I'm no longer a professional soldier, I don't have to maintain certain body standards. I don't eat nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I will look at that same plate of chicken parm that you just described, and I'm like, you got
leftovers.
Yeah, or leftovers. Yeah, leftovers.
2 nights worth of meals.
Or I'm ordering from the kids' meal because I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, I eat maybe 1 meal a day, and then some like some cereal in the morning, and that's about it.
And this is going to sound absolutely horrible. The greatest thing that helped me, I don't want to say lose weight because unfortunately haven't lost weight, but I've maintained it and not gotten bigger. It is when my gallbladder decided to go, I'm going to quit working. Because now instead of my, 3 or 4 routine meals that I was used to for 20, 25 years, I now have to space it over 5 or 6. So I find myself eating less. and I don't recommend it because it sucks. Because if you eat 3 cheese sticks from this restaurant, you're fine. But if you eat 3 from this restaurant, it's too much for your gallbladder. I do not recommend.
Oh, I don't have a gallbladder, so there. Ha
Have,
I win. I
have
do what
you
I want.
have you guys noticed since after you turn 40, it's harder to maintain strength, but your burst strength is a lot more than it used to be? Or is that
Yeah, you're retard.
because it's like I can't, no, I absolutely retard strength.
I call it dad strength. I know people
That's Leroy
joke about
Jenkins.
it.
Yes, it's strength, not strength. Strength.
Because I've noticed in my work, it's like, I watch the kids that I train, and when they're hauling the equipment out, they can just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But when it actually comes to doing the job, they completely done it out, and I can sit there and just finish the job. It's like, just bring me all my tools and I'll do it. And that's kind of like, I only need that strength for like that 20-30 minutes, and then I'm back in the truck. So
Yes, yeah, yeah. That anaerobic. That is one benefit I've noticed from being old. All my anaerobic training does help at older ages. So if you're under 40 and you're doing all these exercises, doing all these aerobics, all this, don't ignore the anaerobic aspect, because I've noticed that has stayed with me after the age of 40 more than all my other exercises. Like gun the head, you tell me to do a split right now, and I'm gonna go, God, please shoot me. 32, I'm doing a full split, no questions asked. But now I'm like, yeah, just put me out of my misery. But you give me those short bursts that I want, I still have that.
All right, so
There's a country song by that name, isn't there? I ain't as young as I once was, but how's the rest of that go?
I ain't as good. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. It's Toby Keith.
Thank you.
All right, so a quick question as far as the dietary stuff, since you guys kind of weaved into that while I was double checking to make sure I wasn't about to get blown away by a tornado. Because those
Understandable.
all around me again, but not here yet.
ATM.
Intermittent fasting. Where do you guys stand on that one? Because I have to admit, I'm kind of a fan.
I've done that for. I begged off. I've just begged off recently, but I did that for pretty solidly for a number of good 2 or 3 years, where I wouldn't eat anything past nothing except for water after 8 p.m. and then I wouldn't have anything until 1 p.m. the next day. I did that and I try to not eat anything or have any calories after 8 or 9, and then maybe nothing until 11 a.m. except for black coffee.
Yeah, I think so for me, intermittent fasting is kind of different because coffee's always a thing with me. But as far as
long as if it's black, it's not going to be. If you're putting shit in it, that's the different story. But if it's just
normally my first cup of coffee has to have at least a little something in it as I keep drinking it, because I'm not gonna say how many cups of coffee I drink in a day.
Cognac.
So normally the first one has to have something in it, then I'll just keep adding to it. So eventually by the end it's black. But
Do you want the politically incorrect comment on intermittent fasting?
I mean, that's kind of your thing. So
you're going to give it to us anyway, so go for it.
Okay. After 40, the biggest, in my experience, benefit of intermittent fasting is knowing when you're about to go to the doctor's in 3 days. Because if your
labs look great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have high blood pressure, but I run high enough that, of course, every freaking doctor freaks out about it. So I have learned, I have an appointment on Wednesday. Okay, Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to have like 800 calories. I'm going to have booze. And when I show up to the appointment, I'm going to get that big old check mark that I'm okay. But it kind of points back to some of what we've talked about is understanding your body, learning it, knowing it. Um, with Vincent and I believe Delaney, you with your military experience, you understand what your body is capable of and what it's not capable of. So you learn to listen to the aches, the oh my god, what is this? So you just simply work around it and plan around it. And once you hit 40, it becomes more frequent that you have to plan, adjust, and make modifications.
Yeah, you're not going to do the same. You're not going to do the same. I mean, you might not be doing the same exercises, period, let alone the same weights. Like, I can no longer, squats are done. There's no, there's no deadlifts, there are no squats, there are no, none of that. I could do a goblet squat with a kettlebell with a lighter weight for higher reps, but there's certainly no low rep anything
Yeah.
anymore. There's no bench. It's all push-ups. It's all, it's yoga. It's pull-ups. But yeah, the days of throwing metal around because it was
Yeah.
fun and because you were trying to get laid are done. It's
Yeah, you
just
can't
not,
do that. But
it's not that.
one thing that I found, you can continue to do squats if you do wall squats.
Yes,
And
yes,
if you know what
that
they
doesn't
are,
hurt your back.
great. No, it does not hurt your back at all. But oh my god, it destroys your fucking quads. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
and that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
I read a study because it was for blood pressure, and it said the best exercise for blood pressure was wall squats, and it was you wanted to do 3 to 4 2-minute interval wall squats 3 to 4 times a week. And I'm like, okay, because I've got this, my blood pressure will spike and then it'll drop. It'll spike, it'll drop. So I'm like, all right, let me see if I can level this out. So I tried that the first time. That was like, no, 2 minutes wasn't happening. It was embarrassing how long. I was like,
No, you
this
think
is
it's like, oh, this is easy. Oh my
easy. And then you're
god.
like, and then you're like, doing the walk of shame afterwards. Your legs are shaking.
And I want to add one other thing. One of the especially like I said, depending on what you've done prior to your 40s, like with me, my leg strength somehow has stayed decently. Like I can still move and push things amazingly well because of the 20 plus years of physical training. The one thing I think, especially after breaking a bone in my foot and having to rehab that, the one aspect I think after 40 that we tend to ignore is flexibility. And it's good to stretch your muscles, your tendons, everything you can, because I've noticed that deteriorates quicker than any of the muscles that you've built prior to 40.
Yeah, like we said, you have to keep a certain level of fitness, because your muscles are going to atrophy. So if you're not into working out, if you're not into throwing weights around and all that shit, do the fucking yoga,
Yeah.
EDP yoga, baby.
because that is going to be the single biggest benefit in getting you limber again, getting your
And
muscles stretched, and
Or-
you're able to
and-
bend over without falling over. You're able to go up and down the stairs without falling and breaking your neck.
Yeah. And I will add to the yoga what I have experienced is I don't know how long you guys do yoga, but I usually do 20 minutes. And during those 20 minutes, I do mental techniques to clear my mind, clear my brain. And I just kind of naturally do all the yoga stuff. But at the same time, my brain is going, I don't give a shit what's going on in the world. Let's just breathe, concentrate on the breathing. Let's concentrate on this and concentrate
So you're
on
doing
that.
shots while you're doing yoga? That's hardcore.
Uh,
Right?
Delaney,
Oh.
yes,
Yes.
I
I
do.
was gonna say
That just takes the muscle discipline for balancing up to the next level.
Right? You're in horse riding stance and you're doing a shot, warrior pose, shot. I like this. I like where this is going.
My nighttime yoga does include an alcoholic drink.
Yes.
And yes, you
Y2
should
is
start
asking, is it true you should start light with weightlifting? Yeah, You
Yeah.
have to work on form.
Base.
Form is everything.
Yes.
Once you
You
get
have to work
once
on
you get your form down,
Exactly.
then you can worry about putting on weight.
The
Because-
amount of
All
weight,
right,
yeah.
so
The amount.
believe it or not, Dan, we're already almost
Then
through with
you
the
can
hour,
do
so I
you can do
have-
negatives. You can do.
We're not hearing you, Rick. Just forget it.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed, but believe it or not, folks, we are just about out of time. I do have a couple more quick hits that I wanted to throw out to the youngsters. Because something else that I have figured out as I've gotten older, there will come a time when your name is all you have left. Don't waste it.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And,
Yeah,
and then,
You're only as good as your
and
word.
then- and then as far as that goes, the other thing is, while you're younger, cut out some of the junk. You don't need McDonald's every day. You don't need pizza every day. Just, home cooked meals
Fact.
once in a while will go a long way while you're younger. And as for me, because everybody keeps talking about workout stuff, I'll be honest, I'm old and gimp, so I've had to kind of design my own workout. I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking about putting it out as a pamphlet soon, just for fun. So, because there are
And
things
yeah,
I can't do
learning-
anymore.
Learning how to cook and making your own home cooked meals is
That's
going
huge.
to get you laid more than anything. So yeah, learn how
Right.
to cook.
Because
And-
when
and-
suddenly she's not the one cooking all the time anymore, she's like got more time for the bedroom stuff.
And I'm going to end my part on the show with an obscene fact. The fatter you
Right.
get, the smaller your penis becomes.
To the point where
What?
you can't see it.
No, it is fact.
No.
The larger you become, the smaller your penis is. If you say you had an 8-inch penis at the age of 22, but you gained 60 pounds by the time you're 40, it is not that length anymore.
It's called dick do because your belly stick out more than your dick do.
Hey, real quick, I just I want to add one thing onto the yoga, and I know Delaney can back me up on this too because I've been going through it. If you know anybody, like if you don't have if you haven't had a back injury yourself, but if you know anybody who does, who went to physical therapy, go see if you can copy off their physical therapy, their take-home physical therapy work, because that is some of the best core training you will ever find.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right.
And also,
one more thing for YCD. You want to build muscle? Like I said, small weight workout. It's working on form. You use small weights to build definition to make yourself look good, but you use big weight to build mass.
Yep.
But don't overdo it.
Also, reps
Form
are
is
more
king.
important than weight.
Yeah,
You
do
can
not
do
overdo
negatives.
it.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not building the muscle when you're actually lifting. Your muscle builds when you're resting.
Yep.
That's when the
100%.
fibers repair themselves and duplicate, and you get all nice and swole. So don't overdo it with the workout, because your rest is
All
where
right, gents.
all the magic's going to happen.
Yep.
We are officially out of time because BZ just started his feed, so we're getting cut. So
Shit.
bye, everybody.
Peace.
Later.
Go ahead, BZ. Take a night off.
We've got answers. We've got time.
We have had this discussion. There will be no hailing of the
We've
Hydra.
got theories that sound just.
Hail Persian women.
Ooh, good one.
We've read the